Right now, many in the U.S. are more aware of Lindsay Lohan's issues than the issues facing Congress. And according to new research, as we become more and more obsessed with celebrity, young women are the biggest losers. Early show contributor Taryn Winter-Brill went out to see for herself.
Each week, millions of American women tune in to watch the inner workings of their favorite reality TV families.
I know.
And while most can name at least one Kardashian sister, a new book says the majority can't name a single branch of the U.S. government.
Our federal government has 3 branches. Can you name one?
Federal government.
8 million people follow Kim Kardashian's every move on Twitter, but how many of them follow national news headlines?
Can you name the American city where more than 100 people were recently killed in a tornado?
I don't know. Alabama?
Okay, I think that's Tennessee. And what about you?
Nothing.
That's actually the state.
Oh, but the state.
Joplin, Missouri.
Okay. Well, close enough.
At least I have life and style.
Recent studies underscore the alarming impact our celebrity-obsessed culture has on these young women. A quarter would rather win America's Next Top Model than the Nobel Peace Prize. Half would rather get hit by a bus than get fat. And 51% say that becoming famous is their #1 or #2 goal in life.
It really astounds me. It makes me feel like we have really lost our balance here as a society, that we are focusing on the wrong things.
And at the newsstand, supply is driven by demand, where gossip magazines like Us Weekly are thriving. Over the last 7 years, the tabloid has more than doubled its circulation from 800,000 subscribers a week to nearly 2 million.
It's much more challenging to be a mainstream media outlet, but many of them are also turning more tabloid as they try in a desperate attempt to retain viewers and readers.
Those consumers of tabloid media are also flocking to the web, to sites offering up-to-the-minute coverage of their favorite celebrities.
At HollywoodLife.com, we have over 4 million unique visitors per month, and I would say close to 90% of them are female. Young women have always looked to the celebrities of their time as role models. It used to be that they were primarily interested in them as style and beauty role models, but they're also interested in the lifestyle choices that celebrities are making.
Experts worry, however, that this high level of interest is not without consequence.
It's not creating meaning and allowing us to use our brains in a way that will ultimately make us more happy.
CBS News legal analyst Lisa Bloom explores how we got this way and what women can do about it. It's all in her new book, Think, Straight Talk for Women to Stay Smart in a Dumbed-Down World. Great to have you with us, Lisa. Obviously, this is troubling stuff to see. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, I've had the sense for some time that our culture is dumbing us down. I knew that 20% of Americans think the sun revolves around the earth. I saw interviews with young women who couldn't say how many sides a triangle has or what country Mexico City was in. So I did some of my own original research, and I was really shocked to discover that college women could name more Kardashians than wars we are in. So I decided to write the book. The first half is a wake-up call about how bad the problem has become, and the second half is a step-by-step guide to reclaim our brains and get us back on track.
And in that first half, you urge the reader to think about some very specific things. For example, the balance of power here in the United States, the fact that women here in this country don't hold the same level of power as they do elsewhere.
There are a lot of widespread misperceptions in American culture, and one of them is that we're so far ahead of the rest of the world when it comes to women's rights. After all, we had Hillary Clinton and Sarah Palin in the last election. Well, the bad news is, of course, that they lost, and we've never had a female president or vice president in this country, while many other countries in the world have. Every other continent, in fact, has had women as heads of state, either presidents or prime ministers. Currently in Australia, there's a female prime minister. The president of India, a country with 1 billion people, is female. Many countries in Europe and South America have female heads of state. Ireland has had presidents named Mary for the last 20 years.
It's such a good point. Also, students here in this country are spending fewer hours in school.
That's something else that many Americans don't know, that our kids have the shortest school days in the first world, only about 32 hours hours a week, compared to Europe, for example, where kids go to school 40, 45, even 60 hours a week in Sweden. And as a result, our kids also have the shortest school year in the world, only about 180 days per year. Other countries as many as 200, 250 days a year. So our kids are less and less competitive against Europeans and East Asians.
You also talk about, the fact that we spend our time differently. More of it is spent online, and you offer some solutions towards the end of the book. Tell us about those.
Well, that's right. And for women, I think the most important solution is to reclaim time to think. We've become so distracted by the tabloid media culture. 20 times as many American women read tabloids than real newspapers. And what do we do overwhelmingly with our time? And I'm as guilty of this as anybody else. Online time, 28 hours a month for Americans, the most in the first world. Other countries spend significantly less time online, 19 hours, 17 hours, even 14 hours. And by the way, don't tell me you're reading serious news online. Some of the top searches on Yahoo last year were Miley Cyrus, Kim Kardashian. That's what we're usually looking at online.
So it sounds like you're saying basically spend your time differently. Allocate at least some of it to a thoughtful pursuit.
Read real books, look at real news online, and connect, engage with the world.
Lisa Bloom, as always, thanks so much for being with us.